The Australian Open was plunged into a second controversy in 24 hours when Billie Jean King declared on Friday she could not support the continued naming of Margaret Court Arena after the nation's best player because of her derogatory statements about the LGBT community. On Thursday, the tournament director, Craig Tiley, was forced to defend the decision to invite Maria Sharapova to share the podium with the men's champion, Roger Federer, at the televised draw ceremony, even though she has served 15 months for failing a drugs test here 2 years ago. He argued that in the absence of the women's champion, Serena Williams, it was appropriate to have a former title holder in Sharapova step in for her on the 10th anniversary of winning the title. Margaret Court says, "Tennis is full of lesbians as row escalates." Read more. That created a minor stir locally, and there was more to come on Friday. King, who announced that she was a lesbian at 51, was responding to a New York Times story in which Martina Navratilova, another player who has pioneered gay rights since declaring her own sexuality many years ago, criticized Court for her stance. Navratilova said she would refuse to play on Margaret Court Arena if she was still playing, and King agreed as she was being honored at a press conference when she was named the Australian Open Woman of the Year. She won 24 Grand Slams, more than anyone else, King said of Court, who announced last month she would not attend this year's tournament. Rocket, Rod Laver, got the arena, and people said, "What are you going to do for Margaret?" I don't know. I think it's really important if you're going to have a name on anything that you're hospitable, you're inclusive, that you open your arms to everyone who comes to a public facility. I was fine until lately when she said so many derogatory things about my community, about the LGBT. That really went deep in my heart and soul. If I was part of voting, which I'm not, it's really up to the people of Australia. I would vote to change it. I personally don't think she should have her name on it anymore. I think if you were talking about Indigenous people, Jews or any other people, I can't imagine the public would want somebody such as Court to have her name on something like that. Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest. Billie Jean King talks with Australian Open Tournament director Craig Tiley. Photograph, Mark Baker, AP. Maybe because of our community, the LGBT community, people might feel differently, but we're all God's children. I probably don't think it's appropriate to have her name on it. I have my name on a whole facility at Flushing Meadows in the US. I remember that day, having my name up there, and the sense of responsibility. I could hardly breathe because of the responsibility. I think if I'm going to have my name on anything, I would welcome Margaret. I would welcome whoever, whether I agreed with them or not. It's not important. I think she's just gotten really derogatory when she talks about the children of transgenders being from the devil. That put me over the edge. I think it's really important to be your authentic self. It took me a long time about my own sexuality. I was 51 before I felt comfortable in my own skin. Shame-based things are very difficult. So that's the last thing you need. Children of LGBT family have a much higher rate of suicide. This is part of being derogatory towards us. I just think it's not healthy. The tournament organizers posted an audio tape of the press conference on the media section of their website only to take it down soon afterwards without explanation.